I Am Not a Chair by Ross Bird.
Show the book. And tell Auntie Glenn what the cover looks like.
It looks like a giraffe having animals sit on him like he's a chair.
And the giraffe is standing up like a chair. Okay.
Like a chair?
Well, he's so long until his body is flat, and then his neck is like a chair back.
Yeah, and the bottom is flat. Okay. For Drew and Todd.
So the book is dedicated to Drew and Todd.
On Giraffe's first day in the jungle.
Layla. You gotta come back and listen to Nas.
I know, I was just saying.
On the giraffe's first day.
Layla, you gotta put that down and come over here and listen to Nas.
I'm still listening. I'm trying to get something to hold the Patreon at.
Oh, that's okay. I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. I'll find you something to hold it. You just come right on over here and Nazi.
Because I wasn't paying attention to me that much when I was reading.
Yes, I did.
After a little while, you started to read. You started to listen.
Yes, I did. Listen, I sat right there and listened to you, even though
I saw you cry because we just switch a little.
You got that, Auntie Glenn?
I did that because of
Girl, they are funny.
On Giraffe's first day in the jungle, he felt something wasn't right. And here's the picture of all the animals and a rhino sitting on him with a guy.
That's a big rhino.
Can I see? Here's the camera. Want to see it again? Can I share that chair? The chair?
So they think the giraffe is a chair.
Chair? I'm not a chair. Giraffe knew he needed to clean things up right away. Splat! He couldn't get the words out.
Why couldn't he get the words out?
I don't know why. Come on.
What's disgusting about it? The skunk.
A skunk sits there on him and farts. A monkey, he throws a banana on his mouth that he...
Oh, wow.
A snake holds his mouth like he's choking him. And then a skunk shows a stinky booty in his nose. Can I see? I'm letting everybody see.
Oh, cute. Splat! That's a baby monkey.
And he threw that on his mouth.
No, babies will throw things.
I am a giraffe. Can't they see? I have spots and ears and eyes and whatever these things are. What are those actually?
Those are like little antlers on his head.
Oh yeah, to help protect. Here, Mama. I see. Come on, Grandma. Can you see it through the bottom?
I saw it the first time. I saw it the first time you showed it. It's so cute.
Here's the camera.
I like the artist and the way it was illustrated. Because the giraffe does look like a chair.
Except you can't actually sit on one or you're going to get hurt. If they couldn't see the difference, giraffe would have to show them. Twist, twist, clank, clonk.
What do you do? Sit down? Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, and just be mindful if he was a chair and a baby sat on him and used the potty.
Oh!
You know what's gonna happen.
And a giraffe is not.
No, that's a chair. Looks nothing like me. New friends, we're already headed his way. Wait, new friends were already headed his way. Problem solved.
That's a smart giraffe.
Wait a moment. You saw it? Yeah, there's a hippo. 2 hippos.
A hippo.
Did you show the camera? Wobble, wobble. Wobble, 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 wobble. Smash! Oh no! My chair.
The hippo sat in the chair. That hippo is huge.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad it wasn't the giraffe. He would have crushed him.
See it through the bottom. See it through the bottom? That giraffe.
Oh, wait, that giraffe. And the hippo came with a baby hippo.
Yep.
Aww.
And the baby.
Yes, and they crashed the giraffe chair and the giraffe itself.
But at least it was a giraffe. Whew. And the big hippo was like, oh no, my chair, and started crying for no reason. I'll fix it. Uh-oh. This goes here. That goes there. Oh my God. Giraffe's first day could not get any worse, but at least no one could sit on him anymore.
The giraffe looked like he was broken up.
I'm sure he was broken up.
Oh, that was a huge hippo.
Flap, flap, flap. While Giraffe looks for a solution, someone was spying on him.
Oh, who was spying on him? Now, mind you, the giraffe's body parts are rearranged.
Oh, good.
And the birds are sitting everywhere on him.
A human, surely he'll know who I am. Look at those facts. It's perfect.
Oh,
It's cute.
read, little Papa, read.
Click. Smartest species. Yeah, right.
He said you can't be smart.
He just took the human just to sit. He just took a giraffe, the giraffe to just sit on him. That makes no sense. Because a giraffe would break the house and giraffes are too tall to even fit in.
Right.
Enough! I am not a chair. And I'm speaking up to the next animal I see. Roar!
Ooh.
Ooh, you're gonna get in trouble. Ooh, it might be a lion trying to eat him up or sit on him. It's surely the lion or whoever it is just gonna sit.
Right.
It's just gonna sit on him. There's nothing he can do.
He needs that roar.
Oh yeah, but that. Oh, I knew it was a lion. The next animal I see will be my dinner.
Ooh.
Even if I have to sit here all night.
So the lion hopped up on the giraffe
Just to sit there all night
to
eat
sit
up.
there all night to look for another animal to eat.
Yep, just for me. They eat too much protein.
And the giraffe didn't do anything but let him sit there.
He said he was gonna stand up to some. And look, if you look closely, they had the same catchphrase, except at the bottom they have different.
That giraffe ain't no nut, girl. And that giraffe said, shit, his mama,
Giraffe wished he could run. He wished he could hide. He wished he wasn't so afraid. I need to speak up. I need to be me. And Giraffe couldn't hold it any longer. I've got to pee. What? That makes no sense. So the whole time he needs to speak up because he has to pee.
Well, he couldn't speak up because he was afraid of the lion.
Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, excuse me.
He just sat here quiet. That big old nerd don't swear.
Oh shit, I forgot.
He did what I would have done. He said,
Layla, look.
Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
And the lion is looking at him like, what? With all the question marks over his head.
And then he was just nibbling his nails.
His hook.
Ah! Run for your life! A talking chair! I'm not a chair! I am a giraffe!
And the
And the
lion.
next day, he told everyone, and everything felt right. Oh my God.
Okay, so
No,
he was
no,
afraid
no,
of the
no,
lion,
no,
but the
no,
lion ended up being afraid of him because
No, if you look closely,
He thought
he's
he was
sitting
a
on a
cat.
turtle.
I know, but yes, but the lion, Auntie Glenn said, oh my God, the lion started running from him.
Because he thought he was a talking chair.
Yes. So, but it's situational irony because the giraffe was with his hooves in his mouth going.
And then then the lion got scared.
And the lion was afraid of him. And now he's got the whole little campfire.
And something went wrong. He made the turtle not feel home because he's sitting on a turtle. Look, he's sitting on a turtle. Just like, why would you sit on a turtle after you got sitting by all of them?
Right.
That would just make you just sit on a game. Me in a chair. Can you believe it?
What now? Me in a chair?
Me, a chair. Can you believe it?
Oh.
He made the turtle mad.
And so the turtle is going.
Turbo.
Yeah. The turtle is like, yes, I can believe it. You're making me a chair.
Look.
And then the wildebeest is sitting on a rock.
Yeah. Which is good to sit on a rock because the rock's not alive.
How do you know a rock is not alive?
Because if it was alive, then it wouldn't be growing. It wouldn't, like, you know.
Okay.
Or is it there? Oh, that's another spider. Okay, I'm gonna hope y'all enjoyed this clip. It's
Thank you, Nazi. My turn.
Okay.
Did you like Nazi's story, Auntie Glenn?
Yeah, I thought about, what's his name? A cherish to cherish.
Come on, Grandma, read. Come on, read.
No one. Luther, Glenn.
No laughing, read.
Sing it.
Read. Don't laugh, read.
Okay. This is my water, and this is how far I have drunk my water today. It is right about here. So I'm going to finish that off. It is so cold, it's giving me a brain freeze. But I'm still going to finish it.
Start reading. Start reading.
These guys want me to finish reading so they can get to playing.
I wanna know what that book's about. Start reading.
Oh, okay.
Start reading.
Auntie Glenn, you ready?
Start reading.
You ready, Lesa?
Ready. She's always ready. Start reading.
Okay.
Start reading. Start
Okay.
reading. Start.
The name of my book is Just a Lucky So and So. The story of Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
And this is the cover of Just a Lucky So-and-So. The story of Louis Armstrong. Who knows Louis Armstrong?
I don't, but please start reading.
Okay. Do you know Louis Armstrong?
Is it a person from?
Yes, it's a person. He was.
Yes.
This is the picture of the inside of the book. So you know Louis Armstrong is going to deal with a what?
Trumpet.
A trumpet! Yay!
I always wanted to play trumpet.
Really? How did I know that? Okay, just a lucky so-and-so. The story of Louis Armstrong. And this is a riverboat. So Louis Armstrong might have been playing his trumpet on a riverboat for the audiences. All right. In New Orleans, Louisiana, in a part of town outside of Storyville, tucked in a corner called Back O' Town, in a section nicknamed the Battlefield, little Louis Armstrong was born, black and poor and lucky. And Louis says in his own words, my whole life has been happiness. So this is the picture of somebody, I don't know if it's his mommy or his sister or his auntie. She's picking him up and he's the baby, and she's throwing him in the air, and she's, yes, so Louis Armstrong was born black, poor, and lucky. On the corner of Perdido and Liberty, little Louis lived in one room with no lights and no running water. But it was home to him and his sister, Mama Lucy, and his mama, May Ann. Oh, wow. Look at that. The illustrator for this story, Auntie Glenn, is amazing. This is his name is James Ransom, and this is written by Lesa Cline-Ransome. Oh, they might be a husband and wife. Okay. The grandson of slaves. So no, he wasn't a slave, but he was the grandson of slaves. Little Louis toted laundry, hauled coal, sold newspapers, and scavenged through garbage to earn money for his family. On the streets, little Louis sometimes made his own trouble. But it was nothing his mama's sharp tongue and a switch from the Chinaberry tree and Grandma Josephine's yard couldn't fix. I say, this is Louis' words now on this page. I say never worry what the other fella has. As long as you're having fun in your own way, never worry about somebody else. I like that. Auntie Glenn, you like that?
I like that.
And it's like saying never compare yourself to somebody else. Okay. Every day outside his window, little Louis listened up and down the streets to the music of brass bands, funeral marches, honky-tonks on Saturday nights, church services on Sunday mornings. And he must have loved all the music that he heard.
He did that.
Louis Armstrong. All right. Across the street, he peeked through the cracks of Funky Butt Hall. On cornet, the sassy ragtime music of Bunk Johnson, Buddy Bolden, and Joe Oliver followed him wherever he went. Johnson had tone. Bolden blew hard. But for little Louis, it was King Oliver who could outblow, outperform any horn player in all New Orleans. Wow. And Louis says the king of all musicians was Joe Oliver. Ooh. And they've got billboards on the street with jazz on them, advertising Dixieland jazz and Josephine Baker. Woo! Ragtime music by Bunk Johnson and King Oliver and his orchestra. And they charge 75 cents to get in and hear a concert. Wow. Okay, guys. School learning at the Fisk School for Boys began for little Louie at 7. Before school and after, on the Karofsky's wagon next to Morris, little Louie tooted a tin horn. Penny for your rags! And bleated, nickel for your scraps. And little Louie says, although I could not play a good tune, Morris applauded me just the same. Oh, everybody trying to do something needs somebody to champion him or applaud her for doing something, because when somebody encourages you, it makes you try harder, even though you might not be the best at whatever you're doing right away. Through the window of a pawn shop, a cornet caught Louie's eye. A $5 loan from Morris bought the cornet for Louie. Some brass polish and oil brought the horn to life. Wow, Louis Armstrong. Down Rampart Street, 4 boys harmonized My Brazilian Beauty. Little Mac on drums, Big Nose Sidney on bass, Redhead Happy Bolton as baritone, and the gravelly tenor of Little Louie, the boy with a smile so wide open, kids called him Satchel Mouth, and a satchel is a bag. New Year's Eve, yes, in New Orleans was all music, fireworks and midnight shots fired in celebration. Little Louie joined in with his stepfather's gun, all his scraps with the law added up, and at 11 years, little Louie was sent away. And he said, I thought the world was coming to an end when they sent me away for shooting that gun.
Why did they send her away?
Him.
Oh.
Little Louie is a guy. He had run-ins with the law. He was doing some things he probably shouldn't have done, and he got sent away. I don't know if it was to boys' school or jail or wherever they sent little boys back in those times, little black boys back in that day.
Okay.
Oh, he fired a shot for the celebration for New Year's Eve, and the police picked him up. At the Colored Waifs Home for Boys, little Louie could barely eat. He missed his mama, his sister, and his cornet. Through his open windows drifted the call of the bugle. Well, he could barely eat. He was sad. A bugle to rise, a bugle for chores, a bugle for bed. The band leader, Mr. Davis, told little Louie that boys from the battlefield don't belong in a band. Oh. Little Louie sang solos for everyone to hear. Mr. Davis listened and started Louie with the tambourine. Then he played the drums. Mr. Davis made him the bugler. Then he put him on cornet. Mr. Davis made him the band leader. Wow! And then his words are, me and my music got married at the home. I married music at the home. Because he loved. So the home turned out to be, you're a little bit in the home turned out to be a very special place for Louie, where he got started in his career as the world's greatest trumpet player. Wow. So everything that seems bad doesn't have to be all bad. The band traveled to play in every corner of New Orleans, uptown and downtown, West End, Spanish Fort, and front of town. But for little Louis, there was nothing like walking through his old neighborhood at the head of the band, blowing Home Sweet Home. Lining the streets was everyone he knew, and right up front was his mama, May Ann. And Louis said, I could not think of anything but my good luck. Oh my goodness, that is so wonderful. And the colored band went marching through the black side of town, and they were so proud of little Louis Armstrong, playing his trumpet and bugle and marching at the front of the band. At 14, little Louis returned to Perdido Street, not so little. By then, he could make any song swing. Louis needed to hear a song just once, and it was his. He worked all day hauling coal and all night playing in honky-tonks around town. Wow! That's what you have to do sometimes when you're creative. You've got to work during the day and perfect your craft at night when you're really working too, except you're working with your passion and your heart. Louis met Joe as Joe paraded through town with the Onward Brass Band and followed him everywhere. Louis ran Joe's errands, carried his horn, but in the between times, Joe taught Louis note by note. In Joe's home, Louis filled up on rice and beans, which we're having tomorrow, and music lessons. Louis traded in his first pawn shop cornet for Joe's used one. That is such a blessing. And Louis's words were, I prized that horn and guarded it with my life. Yes, so eventually in his life, he said he was lucky. Louis met his idol, the one he thought made the best music. Louis met King Joe Oliver. That's why he said, I was so lucky and I was always happy. Wow. Okay, let's go on with the story. And Joe taught Louis everything he knew and gave him his used horn. Wow. Louis listened to Joe's horn crow like a rooster, cock-a-doodle-doo, growl like a lion, roar, cry like a newborn baby. Two horns side by side, so close, Louis called him Papa Joe. Aboard the SS Sydney, he blew swing, waltzes, and dance tunes all up and down the banks of the Mississippi River. On land, Louis blew with the Tuxedo Brass Band, and then Kid Ory's hottest jazz band in town, featuring Baby Dodds, Pops Foster, and his Papa Joe Oliver. Wow. And Louis said, when I pick up that horn, that's all. The world's behind me, and I don't concentrate on nothing but it. I love them notes. Wow. You have to do exactly what you love. After a time, New Orleans honky-tonks were too small for the king. Joe hopped a train and blew goodbye to New Orleans. Chicago was waiting. Louis stepped in where Joe stepped out. His horn had folks talking about the little boy from the battlefield. Night after night, Louis filled up the halls, filled up the streets, filled up his pockets with the music from his cornet. 4 years later, Joe sent a telegram, which is a message back then. Louis was ready to leave, And this is what Joe said. He sent for me. He sent for me. And whatever he's doing, I want to do it with him. So when King Oliver sent for little Louie, he was like, goodbye, battlefield. Goodbye, y'all. I'm out of here. Little Louie loved his teacher.
Okay. I can't wait to read more.
All aboard! Louie stood on the train platform, fish sandwich in one hand, cornet in the other. Worried he'd catch cold in the windy city, his mama made him wear long johns in the August heat. Joe Oliver and Chicago were waiting. And another name for Chicago is the Windy City. Joe said, I've never seen a city that big. On the south side of Chicago, at the corner of 31st and Cottage Grove, Louie peeked into Lincoln Gardens dance hall. A globe glittered from the ceiling. A balcony looked out over the dance floor. Joe and King Oliver's Creole jazz band warmed up. Louie said, opening night always makes you feel as though little butterflies were running around in your stomach the very first night you open up. Oh my goodness, I know Joe was ecstatic. Not Joe, Louie was ecstatic. Louie's tuxedo was pressed and patched and small. He walked to the bandstand where Baby and Johnny Dodds, Lil Hart, Honoré Dutre, and Bill Johnson waited. From the very first note, they knew. He played quietly behind Joe, softly in back of Joe, echoing after Joe. Someone yelled, let that youngster blow! And Louie stepped forward and stood in front of Joe and blew. And he said, my boyhood dream had come true.